A warm welcome to all my lovely audience on Icy Tales today. My name is Hiba and I am your host for this session. Today on Icy Tales, we are going to be having talks on mental health and emotional well-being because I have with me Miss Kanchan Rai, who is, like I said, a mental health and well-being coach, and she's also the founder of her venture called Let Us Talk. So without holding up further, let us talk to Kanchan Rai, ma'am. How are you, ma'am, and how does it feel to be here?
It feels absolutely great. Thank you so much, Hiba, for having me here and talking about a topic which is really a taboo in our society so far. So, yeah, I would like to compliment you for that. And let's start.
Yes, like you said, let's start. So let's begin. Let's get to know each other at first. So tell us something about your profession. You are a mental and emotional well-being coach. So what is it like to be a mental and well-being coach?
To be honest, on a personal level, it's quite overwhelming. Like you have to talk to people and you have to, listen to people, those who are really in despair need of sharing their emotions, talking about their mental health. It's not at all easy task. But at the same time, it's very satisfying as well that at least I could help someone to, come out of the dark zone, which we often talk, or you must have heard about this zone. So yeah, it's quite satisfying too. It's like it's a combination of both.
Very, very nice to see that you're helping people and enjoying what you do. So very nice to know that, man. Tell us the importance of mental health in today's world because considering post-lockdown and during the lockdown, there were so many cases of mental health problems. So tell us the importance of mental health in today's world.
See, mental health is absolutely a form of your health. So you can't minus mental health from your overall health, or or your overall well-being.
Yes.
So if we talk about health, it's not just physical health, like how do you look, how do you appear, how healthy you are, how good diet you are taking, how good gymming you are doing, or how good your body parts are. So the same way mental health is also a very important thing. Like you can't minus your physical health from mental health to tell that okay, you are healthy enough. So if a person who is fit enough, if a person who is healthy enough yet he's suffering with any kind of mental health disorder, we don't term him or her as a healthy person.
Yes.
So overall health of a person depends equally on physical health and
Mhm.
on mental health. So yeah, it's like a very important aspect of your health, which I need to I often tend to tell people about.
And a big thanks to you for throwing limelight on this invisible topic. You're doing a very great job, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Let's move on to our next question. So, when I was seeing your profile, I noticed that you are the founder of this venture called Let Us Talk, like I mentioned. The name is
Hmm.
very, very
Hmm.
interesting. I want to know what's your story behind it and how did you get the idea to start this venture?
Oh, it's a very interesting story behind the name also. So it happened like, when we talk about mental health, people often don't tend to talk about it. Like, if you talk, you will say a word like mental health or emotional health, people will be like, nahi, 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 kuch nahi, kuch nahi, kuch nahi. It's all good. It's all fine. It's just a phase. It's just, a temporary thing which is like bothering us or which is just creating a like fuss. But people don't tend to talk about it. So
Yes.
if I say talk, it's not just you coming and talking, okay, this is what I'm going through, this is what I'm feeling through. But you need to have a person with whom you can talk, you can share at the same time. Be sure that the person whom you are talking to, or whom with you are sharing your emotions, is a very non-judgmental person. So here you are talking, I'm listening, and I am very like you are very sure that Kanchan is a person who will never judge me. She's a person who will never integrate me to something which I don't want to do. And
Correct.
she would never interfere with my thoughts, with my emotions. Rather, she'll be there to understand, and she'll try to, make me explain that, this is how I am going through and what are the techniques and what are the ways to come out of it. So it goes that way. And that was the logic behind, or I would say reason behind getting this word, Let Us Talk,
Mhm.
as a name of our company, so that you can come and talk, not
Yes.
just talk, but be rest assured that with the person you are talking to is absolutely safe and it's absolutely trustworthy for you to talk. And of course, to remove the stigma around mental health, that you should not talk about it and you should just shrug this topic under the carpet. So just to encourage people to talk more. Yeah, so that's the whole story behind Let Us Talk as a name of our brand.
I must say, I really love the name of the venture, Let Us Talk. It caught my eyes on day one when I was reading your profile. So, again, great job on that,
Oh,
ma'am.
nice. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. So, moving on to our next question. So, being a woman, I'm sure you might have some soft, like a soft corner for someone, for another woman who is going through problems. Because in our society, women, mostly they're very silent and they don't talk out much. And keeping in mind this, I also thought of postpartum. At this time, a woman's emotional well-being is very, very important. So, what do you like? What would you like to comment on this topic, and what's your opinion on this?
See, if I talk about women in particular, of course, they are very emotional. They tend to show, like, if you see a woman would actually burst out her feelings, she'll burst out her emotions in a form like anyone would understand that there is something wrong with her.
Yes.
We have seen women crying more than men. One of the reason is like, because they are so overwhelmed with their hormones, or they are so overwhelmed with their emotion, it becomes very difficult for them to hide their tears. So sorry, but the mental health as a topic, or as a health, signifies both men and
Yes.
women. Like if I talk about women, of course, they are very tender, they are very soft, because they are created that way. Like, we see women and we feel like, okay, she's so delicate, right? So
Yes.
delicate is the first thing which comes across when we talk about women. But in terms of mental health, men are also delicate. Let me tell you very honest, because first of all, they have responsibility. I'm talking about major males.
Right.
I'm just not talking specifically about someone, but major of males, they have responsibility of their family. They have to earn. They have to portray themselves as strong enough who can actually, take all whatever the society is throwing, or whatever the life is throwing to them, and they are the front face of a family. So
Yes.
they don't tend to talk much. They have to portray themselves, but they are emotional too, and that's when women come in picture. So when a woman is very emotional, she talks about herself, she talks about what kind of difficulty she is going through, or what kind of emotional trauma she is going through. It definitely encourage men to talk about it also.
Yep.
So it's like it goes hand to hand. As I was saying earlier, like, mental health is very your overall health is very incomplete without mental health. At the same time, women or men, I mean, in mental health, there is no specific significance
Yes.
of your gender. It's like you are suffering means you are suffering, no matter you are men and women. Same way, postpartum depression, it goes to both. I'm sure you must have heard women going through PPD, but there is an equal ratio of men. They are also suffering from postpartum depression, and that's the least talk topic about. And I'm so glad that you came up with such an unspoken topic in terms of mental health. We have always understood, like, okay, a woman is going through so much of hormonal changes because of her pregnancy. There is body changes, and there are feelings which she has never felt. As such, she's carrying a child in her womb. But same goes with men also. Like men also have tend to, like, there are factors which affects men's mental health also. So sleeping is of course one part of it. And by the time your child is not born, it's just you and your wife, it's just 1 to 1. And then someone new comes, and your baby comes in, and your wife diverts full attention towards him. Just she's busy creating a bond with a newborn child, and somehow you feel left out. So that is one of the biggest reason for men to suffer from PPD. And this at the same goes for women as well.
Mm.
Those hormones which are really piling up from a very long time, and suddenly you have a baby, like, who was inside you, now you have in your hands. So
Yes.
you are obviously overwhelmed, and there are so much of emotions coming to you, and you tend to, like, there are adjustments issues as well for men and women. So people, these are the days when people tend to go into PPD, and it generally starts from first week, but it can last for 1 year also. So every one person in seven parents are like, suffering from PPD, which they never share, or they never talk about. So yeah, like, this is all about it. And if you are feeling like, some drastic changes in terms of your behavior, like you are not getting adjust to your newborn child, and if you feel the bond is missing, or you are very negligent towards, you're feeling towards your partner or to your child. These are few indicators. Your appetite may go haywire, your sleep may go haywire, like you are not able to concentrate on things which you are doing on a day-to-day basis. So these are symptoms which one has to be very careful about if we talk about PPD here, and it goes for men and women both. And there is a tendency like we are good for nothing, like we are not good for our child. I'm not a good parent, I'm not a good mother, I'm not a good father. That things that these kind of noises you keep on run these things keep on running in your mind background. So this is again one of the like red flag, I would say, that you definitely need some help in that matter. But it's not that difficult to deal with, to be honest. It's a phase. If this thing lasts for more than 2 to 4 weeks, definitely you are tend to seek help, and you are supposed to talk to a counselor or a person you have trust in. Otherwise, just few things like eating well, sleeping well, going out in nature, trying to bond with your child without forcing too much yourself to do that, would really solve the whole scenario, or the problem, I would say.
That was really some knowledgeable insights that you gave, and I'm sure everyone watching this will have major takeaways. So, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us, ma'am. Let's move on to our next question. So, I'm sure being a mental health coach, you would have come across this question everywhere. So, even I know so many people who are scared to take therapy because they think, what would people think about them? They would term them as crazy, psycho. They use such terms. So, how would you like to bust this myth, and what is your general opinion on this?
Okay, I'll answer this question, but let's go some 10, 15 years before, when, going to gym was a taboo,
Yep.
right? If a person is going to a gym, the first question anyone would ask, अरे क्या बॉडी बिल्डर बनना है क्या? अरे तुम्हें क्या एक किसी कंपटीशन में जाना है क्या? Why are you going to gym? So there was so much gossip, or I would say there was so much of unwanted myths which were revolving around gym. Now we know how important gym is, how important workout is for us, our physical health.
Yep.
So I often tend to tell my clients, like, talking to a person or going to a therapist, it's not because you are sick or you are ill, it's for your wellness.
Yep.
And if you are well enough, you tend to get ill very less. So let's start focusing on your wellness, and keep your illness aside. That will really help you. The same cases are with our physical health also. Like, we work out, we jog, we run, we do yoga, we do different
Yes.
forms of workout. It's not because we are sick or we are ill, it's just because we want to be healthy.
Correct.
So yeah, this is the very prominent example which I often use with my clients, that your physical health can be maintained, or your physical health is maintained when you are physically active. So your mental health or your emotional health can be maintained if you are mentally and emotionally active. And you can be mentally and emotionally active if you go to a therapist, talk to a counselor, or get into therapies. So these are not signs for you, a sign for you that you are sick, or you are weak enough, or you need some kind of homebound restriction. It just implies that you are taking care of yourself completely. You are not just working on your outer appearance, but you are equally worried about your inner appearance, which is very important. And there is no harm, and there is nothing stigma related to it.
I think it was a very short, crisp, and concise example which you gave, which just answered the entire question. So, again, thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your thoughts with us. It was really nice listening to you. Moving on to our next question, I'm sure being in this field, you would have had so many learnings all across the way. Tell us any one thing that your profession has taught you, and why do you think it's very important?
Oh, one thing would be very difficult. I can actually write a whole book on my learnings through being a coach. But yeah, I would not restrict to one, but I would like to say a couple of things.
Yes, please.
First, start loving yourself. It's like, how do you look? How do you appear in terms of your outer appearance? Doesn't matter. Start loving yourself the way you are. Like, if you are more if you love yourself more, definitely you will attract more love from outside world also. We often
Yeah.
forget that, we are so busy decorating ourselves, we are so busy, like, materializing ourselves. Okay, this is what I have to do. We don't eat because we have to get into one dress which we
Yes.
in which we look good, but that is really taking charm from your face. You have to understand that part as well. So you look good whatever you will wear, you look good howsoever you are, until and unless you'll not feel good. For that, you have to start accepting yourself, start loving yourself, and start being who you are. One thing which I have learned is like being authentic is the best part of your character. So
Mm-hmm.
I often talk about being authentic, because you don't have to put efforts in it, first
Right.
of all, and you don't have to remember like what I said or what I did last. I have to continue in the same cycle or same rhythm, because if you are as you are, you don't have to pretend, or you don't have to keep on remembering, okay, last यहाँ पे ये बोला था तो अभी इसी के बारे में बोलना है. So if you are true, you are authentic, you don't have to exercise all these things which are really unwanted. Third thing is like, you are important and you have to understand that. I understand you have work. I understand you have family. I understand you have social circles. I understand you have a child to take care of. You have a partner to take care of, but you are your priority and you have to consider yourself as your priority. So don't overlook yourself by, being a good mother, big good father, good daughter, good son, good employee, good boss. Be who you are and start taking care of it. That is very important. So, why I'm sharing this thing is like we often coach to uh, corporate world. Like, there are so many C-suite clients who are coming in talking to us. The one thing which I have to really put effort is like telling them who exactly they are, who really they are. Of course, I understand they are CEOs, they are fathers, they are mother, they have this social obligation, they have that social obligation, but in the whole process, they really forget who they are. And the result is like, they are not happy,
Mm-hmm.
and they are not mentally or emotionally satisfied, and which is affecting their work, and that's why they are there to me. So the whole gist is like, prioritize yourself. That is very important, and that is going to stay for a very long time, rather than disturbing yourself with the things which are not at all important. I'll just like to talk 2 minutes about happiness. Whenever I say happiness is the key, the second question or the second thing happens in my phone is like, how can you be happy if you are sad? How can you be happy if you are grieving? How can you be happy if you are going through something which is not in favor? For me, happiness is not about being sad. Sad is being part of your life. You are human. Definitely, you are going to feel sad. Definitely, you are going to feel angry. Definitely, you are going to grieve if you have lost something. But it doesn't mean that you are in that zone and you are forgetting to be happy. A person can be happy even after a loss. Like if I say like, I have no right to be happy because I lost my someone who is near and dear to me, that's absolutely wrong. You have to be happy. You have to be
Correct.
happy, carrying the loss with you. You have to be happy even like, you get angry and you are like, अरे क्या कर दिया ये बोल दिया ऐसे चीज हो गया. Okay, that's a momentary phase, like, that will go, but after that what? After that you have to focus on being happy. You can't be angry all the time, right?
Yeah.
So for me, saying just focus on being happy doesn't mean that you have to be happy all the time. Even if you are angry, you will start laughing. Even if you are grieving, you will start laughing. I don't mean to say that. Of course, these are the process, these are the phases which will take their own time to come out of. But try to focus on being happy. That's the only key. So yeah, these are my takeaways, or I would say these are the points which I have learned working so many years with mental health or emotional health thing.
Very, very nice to know that, ma'am. And I'm sure if we had another 1 hour, you would have been going on talking because you had so many learnings, you said. And if I did have the time, I would have actually listened to you because all what you said was very, very relatable on my end. So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, ma'am. We have now come to our last question, which is a very, very optimistic question. So tell us, like being in this field, I'm sure you have some future plans, right, to reach people, your aims or anything. So what are your future plans in this field, and how do you plan on achieving them?
Future plans, I would again say there are many, because a person like me who has been through a dark phase herself and come out of it, and now I'm trying to help as many people as I can. So future plans are many, but of course I'll go one at a time. So for me, for now, I'm just focusing on creating an awareness about mental health. Of course, we do provide solutions related to mental health to corporates. We do have curriculum designed for schools or educational hubs related to mental health, considering the age factor and like class the child is. So of course, I have to work on that. And next big thing which I'm working on is holistic health. People have differentiate. I would say they have clearly made a wall like, okay, this is physical health, this is mental health, and we are sorted. But it's not that. There's no wall in between. There is no thin line in between. The holistic health comprises of who you are as an individual, be it your physical health, mental health, spiritual health, social health, or personal health. So combination of all health is a holistic health. So I'm working more on it and trying to create programs which will help people to figure out their holistic health and help them to understand what holistic health means and how they can take care of it.
And all the very best from my end for you for achieving all these goals. I really hope you go a long way in this field.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate all these wishes.
Thank you so much for your time. And I think the last 20 minutes, you completely changed my perspective towards mental health, and you told me so many different things. I think not just me, everyone watching this will change their perspectives towards mental health. So thank you so much for giving us your time, ma'am, and sharing your knowledgeable insights.
Thank you so much for having me with you guys, and I must say you are doing amazing job talking about subjects like mental health and all, which is really a brave and bold step. Thank you and all the very best.